Ah, my spine-tingling scribes. Sometimes the most haunting tales are not just written, but lived. Don't ghost away now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more chilling tales. Up next, a story that'll make you think twice before retiring your pen. Shadow of the Pen. In the quiet town of Derry, Maine, where secrets and shadows intermingle, I give you Shadow of the Pen. Jonathan Creek, a name whispered in the dimmest corners of every bookstore, a pseudonym that adorned the darkest tales to ever grace the page, belonged to Robert Langston, a man as unassuming as Creek was notorious. For decades, Langston lived comfortably behind the veil of Creek, his true identity known to but a few. His stories, a tapestry of horror woven from the darkest yarns of the human condition, had found their home in the nightmares of his readers. Yet, as the autumn leaves began their descent, so too did Langston's desire to continue this duality. He yearned to step into the light, to claim his works as Robert Langston, the man, not Jonathan Creek, the myth. It was time to retire Creek, to lay him to rest within the pages of his final novel, Eclipse of the Mind. But as the announcement was made, a sinister chill swept through Derry. Langston's relief was short-lived as he encountered a man who was his mirror image, save for the eyes that seemed to swallow the light. This doppelganger introduced himself with a wry smile as Jonathan Creek. The apparition of Creek was no mere coincidence. He was a character so vividly realized that he had leaped off the page, a shadow given life through the fervent belief of readers and the fervor of Langston's own imagination. Creek's presence turned malignant, sabotaging Langston's life, his relationships, and whispering dreadful tales to his audience, tales that Creek claimed Langston was too afraid to write. The town of Derry, familiar with the strange and macabre, began to turn on Langston. Friends distanced themselves, and his wife, Sarah, felt the cold hand of dread upon her heart. Creek's malevolence was not bound to mere pranks or whispers. It was a living nightmare, a force that sought to destroy the life Langston had built. Langston's search for answers led him to the dusty tomes of the local library, where he unearthed the forgotten lore of Derry. Creek was not the first. The town had a history of creations coming to life, of authors' darkest fears manifesting into reality. It was a curse as old as the town itself, one that Langston had unwittingly become part of. The conflict within Langston deepened. To confront Creek was to confront himself, to face the darkness he'd nurtured and unleashed upon the world. The pen, they say, is mightier than the sword. But could it banish the demon it had birthed? Langston's journey led him to the heart of Derry, to the standpipe overlooking the town, a place where legends whispered of a great and terrible power. It was there, amidst the echoing waters, that Langston faced Creek. Words were their weapons, the stories they told shaped by their wills. But Creek had underestimated Langston. For every tale of terror he knew, Langston had one of hope, of redemption. With each word spoken, Langston wove a new story. A tale where Creek was not the villain, but a character in search of his ending. As dawn broke, Langston's story took hold, and Creek's form began to fade, his features blurring into the pages of the manuscript Langston held in his trembling hands. With a final sigh, Creek conceded, his shadow retreating into the ink, his presence receding into the realm of fiction. Robert Langston walked away from the standpipe, the weight of his penlighter, his heart unburdened. He had embraced his shadow, and in doing so found his true self. Eclipse of the Mind would be his greatest work, not as Jonathan Creek, but as the man who had conquered the shadow of the pen. Well, my dear fright writers, it seems our author's mightier pen has inked its final blot of terror. If you thought that twist was killer, leave a comment with your own spine-chilling endings. Fright fans, click next for more chills and hit subscribe to join our ghastly gang. You see, who dares to miss out, so watch our next video.